You've seen it 100 times on Instagram. The tallest tower in the world, islands shaped like palms, and supercars parked outside malls the size of small cities. It looks unreal, and honestly, sometimes it is. But the real Dubai? That's a whole different story. Are you about to visit and not sure where to even begin? Or maybe you're just curious about what's hiding behind the glittering skyline. Either way, this is the guide for you. Welcome to PictoPlanet, your complete travel guide. Light, practical, and cinematic, with everything you need to know. From the icons you've dreamed about, to desert adventures that leave sand in your shoes, to the kind of local food that costs less than a coffee back home. Stick around, because by the end you'll know exactly how to experience Dubai like a pro, and maybe even better than the influencers. Before we jump into the must-sees, let's get you ready for Dubai. Because this is not the kind of city you just show up in without a little inside knowledge. The moment you land, it feels big, bold, and a little overwhelming. But once you know how it works, the whole trip gets 10 times better. First thing to understand, Dubai isn't its own country. It's one of 7 emirates that make up the United Arab Emirates, and unlike compact European capitals, this city is huge and spread out. Nothing here is just around the corner. Every district feels like a different world. Downtown is the modern heart, where the Burj Khalifa and the Dubai Fountain steal the skyline. The marina and JBR are all about high-rises, beaches, and nightlife. The Palm Jumeirah? That's luxury island living, complete with Atlantis resorts and infinity pool views. Head into Old Dubai, and suddenly you're walking past spice stalls, mosques, and wooden abrays crossing the creek. And if you drive just over an hour, you're in Hatta, with rugged mountains and turquoise waters. Only in Dubai can you go from a centuries-old souk to a 7-star hotel lobby in the span of 20 minutes. Now, who actually lives here? Around 3.6 million people. But here's the twist. Nearly 90% of them are expats. That means in one taxi ride you might hear Hindi, Tagalog, Arabic, and English all before you reach your destination. Emiratis are the locals, a proud minority, and their traditions are woven into the rhythm of the city. The work week runs Monday to Friday, weekends are Saturday and Sunday, and because of the heat, afternoons are sleepy. But wait until evening when the air cools down. Suddenly the streets, cafes, and beaches come alive. Speaking of heat, brace yourself. Summer in Dubai isn't just hot, it's desert hot. We're talking 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, with humidity that makes stepping outside feel like opening an oven. If you visit in July, even your sunglasses might start sweating. Winter, from November to March, is the sweet spot. Perfect blue skies, 24 to 28 degrees Celsius, and the city buzzing with festivals and outdoor events. April and October are the maybe months, still hot but manageable. If you want the best balance, winter is your golden ticket. Culture-wise, Dubai is rooted in Islam. You'll hear the call to prayer echo across the city, and you'll see mosques rising between glass towers. For visitors, it's simple. Dress modestly in traditional areas and mosques, but don't worry, malls and hotels are relaxed. Alcohol is served, but only in licensed restaurants and hotels. And if you come during Ramadan, remember, no eating or drinking in public until sunset. But once the sun goes down, the city transforms into a feast. Night markets, lantern-lit cafes, and food that feels like celebration. Now let's fix a few misconceptions. Dubai isn't only skyscrapers and shopping malls. Beyond the skyline, there are deserts, mountains, and centuries-old souks. It isn't only for the rich either. Sure, you can splurge on a gold-flaked cappuccino, but you can also grab a shawarma for less than the price of a latte back home. And despite what some think, Dubai is one of the safest cities in the world. Low crime, friendly to tourists, and incredibly easy to navigate if you respect the culture. And then there's Dubai's favorite hobby, breaking records. In the 1960s, this was a small desert town with fewer than 60,000 residents. Today, it's a global hub of millions. It's home to the tallest building, the largest dancing fountain, and the deepest pool on Earth. The police? They drive Lamborghinis and Ferraris, because apparently pulling someone over in a Corolla doesn't cut it here. You can even withdraw gold bars from an ATM, Yes, actual gold bars. At one point, a staggering 15% of all the cranes in the world were right here, building the skyline. And the metro? It glides without a driver. The longest driverless system anywhere. Dubai's energy is simple. If it doesn't exist, build it bigger. And that's exactly the magic you'll feel the moment you arrive here. So now that you know how Dubai works, the rhythm of the city, its culture, and a few record-breaking fun facts, it's time to actually explore, because nothing compares to seeing it for yourself. Dubai might not be the biggest city in the world, but it's packed with experiences that feel larger than life. From landmarks that define the skyline to futuristic museums, desert adventures, and hidden gems most travelers miss, this city is full of places that will stay with you long after your trip is over. Let's start with the icons, the sites that make Dubai instantly recognizable to the world, and the ones you simply can't leave without experiencing. Every city has a landmark that defines it, and in Dubai, that honor belongs to the Burj Khalifa. At 828 meters tall, it isn't just the world's tallest building, it's a vertical declaration of ambition, piercing the desert sky. Construction began in 2004, at the height of Dubai's boom years. But when the global financial crisis hit, the project nearly collapsed. It was only saved by Abu Dhabi's intervention, and in gratitude, the tower was renamed from Burj Dubai to Burj Khalifa. A reminder that even icons carry hidden stories of survival. Its design comes from the desert flower Hymenocallis, a bloom that radiates in symmetrical petals. Engineers borrowed its form, twisting steel and glass upward in a spiral. But building it meant solving problems no one had faced before. Concrete had to be poured at night so the desert heat wouldn't crack it. And the tower was anchored with foundations driven 50 meters deep into the shifting sand. Standing at its base today, craning your neck until you almost fall over, it's hard not to marvel at what human determination can achieve. Inside, the elevators launch upward at a speed that feels like takeoff, whisking you to the top in less than a minute. When the doors slide open, the view stops you cold. To the east, a horizon of endless desert. To the west, the Arabian Gulf glittering in the sun, and between them, a futuristic city that barely existed half a century ago. Visit at sunrise and you'll find the city quiet and glowing in soft gold. Come at sunset and the sky burns with color as the towers below flicker to life. Tickets sell fast, so booking ahead is a must. And here's a secret. If you'd rather avoid the crowds, you can head to the lounge at Atmosphere on the 122nd floor. For about the same price as the observation deck, you get the same view, a drink in hand, and far fewer tourists. At night, the Burj Khalifa turns into a living screen, wrapped in rippling LED patterns. Each evening it stages light shows that stop people in their tracks, but nothing compares to New Year's Eve. That night, the world's tallest tower becomes a lighthouse for the planet, exploding in fireworks so grand that millions around the globe tune in just to watch Dubai announce once again that nothing is beyond its reach.
You know I will show, now we're sipping the Bordeaux, with you through it all, winter through the fall, you just make the call, yeah, I'm in it for it all. I'm in it for the love, cause love it needs to touch it. You're pressing on my buttons, babe, let me tell you something. I'm in it for the love, cause love it needs to touch it. You're pressing on my buttons, babe, let me tell you something.
Step out from the Burj Khalifa and you're not leaving the spectacle behind, because right next door is another world entirely, the Dubai Mall. It's more than just a shopping center. It's a city under one roof, sprawling across a space bigger than 200 football fields. To put it in perspective, you could fit Vatican City inside this mall and still have room left over for an ice rink and a cinema. When it opened in 2008, the goal wasn't simply to create a retail hub. It was to make the mall itself a destination, a place that people would travel across the world to see. And it worked. Today, the Dubai Mall welcomes over 100 million visitors every year, more than Paris, London, or New York. Inside, the scale is staggering. You can walk for hours and never see the same corridor twice. There's an Olympic-sized ice rink where kids learn to skate while outside the desert sizzles with 40 degrees Celsius. There's a VR park where you can step into alternate realities, a 22-screen cinema showing films from around the world, and over 200 restaurants serving everything from fine dining to shawarma. But what really makes the mall memorable are the spectacles tucked between the shops. In the central atrium, a 4-story waterfall crashes down with sculpted divers leaping forever in silver arcs. Just around the corner, the Dubai Aquarium looms, one of the largest indoor tanks in the world. Sharks and rays glide past its 10 million-liter tank. For locals, the mall isn't just about shopping. It's their meeting point, their escape from the heat, their weekend hangout. Wander through on a Friday night and you'll see groups of friends strolling the walkways, kids running from toy shops to candy counters, and families sitting down for long dinners in the food courts. The mall is as much about lifestyle as it is about luxury. And for travelers, it's the perfect place to take a breather. After the high of the Burj Khalifa, the mall gives you a chance to explore at your own pace. Whether you're chasing brands, diving into experiences, or simply cooling off with an ice cream under the endless glass ceiling. After a day inside the Dubai Mall, losing yourself between waterfalls, giant aquariums, and endless shops, you finally step outside into the warm evening air. The Burj Khalifa towers above you, glowing against the night sky. And then it happens. The lake in front of you begins to stir. Music drifts through hidden speakers, the crowd leans forward, and suddenly the water erupts into motion. This is the Dubai Fountain, unveiled in 2009 and still the world's largest choreographed fountain show. It was designed by the same creators behind the famous Bellagio fountains in Las Vegas, but in true Dubai fashion, it had to be bigger, brighter, and louder. More than 6,600 lights and 25 projectors transformed the lake into a shimmering stage, while jets of water soar 150 meters into the air, as tall as a 50-story building. But what really makes it unforgettable is the feeling. One moment the fountains glide gracefully to Andrea Bocelli's Con te Partiro, the next they shimmer to Arabic oud melodies, and then, out of nowhere, they burst into pop anthems or even K-pop. No two shows ever feel the same, which is why even locals who have seen it dozens of times still stop in their tracks for just one more. And here's what every traveler should know. You can see it all for free. During the day, there are short shows around 1 o'clock and 1:30 p.m., on Fridays at 1:30 and 2 o'clock. But the real magic begins after sunset. From 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. every half hour, the lake transforms again. The crowd builds, the air buzzes, and within minutes, the entire waterfront is spellbound. Want the best view? Stand shoulder to shoulder on the promenade to feel the spray of water on your face. For something more special, take an Abra boat ride across the lake. You'll find yourself surrounded by fountains shooting up on every side. Or, for a calmer experience, cross the bridge into Souk al-Bahar, where you can grab a terrace seat, order dinner, and watch the fountains with the Burj Khalifa glowing right behind them. Each performance lasts just a few minutes, but it's long enough to remind you why downtown Dubai feels truly alive. By the time the last notes fade and the water settles back into stillness, you'll already be tempted to stay, because in Dubai, the next show is always just around the corner. As the last notes of the fountain fade into the night, it's tempting to think you've seen Dubai at its most spectacular. But this city always has another surprise waiting. And this one isn't about the present at all. Just a short ride down Sheikh Zayed Road, the skyline reveals something that looks nothing like a tower or a mall. Rising in silver curves, etched with flowing Arabic calligraphy, is the Museum of the Future. A building that doesn't just hold exhibits, but embodies an idea that the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we build. Opened in 2022, the museum has already been called one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. Its shape isn't accidental. The solid ring represents knowledge, the hollow center represents the unknown yet to be discovered, and the glowing Arabic calligraphy across its surface are quotes about innovation and progress from Sheikh Mohammed, Dubai's ruler. Even before you step inside, the architecture tells a story. And when you do enter, it feels like walking into a science fiction film that decided to skip the special effects and just become real life. Instead of looking back, the museum looks forward to space exploration, AI, robotics, sustainable living, and even what Dubai might look like in the year 2071. You don't just look at exhibits, you step into immersive experiences. One floor takes you on a mission to a space station orbiting Earth. Another lets you explore the Amazon rainforest, recreated with sensors and projection. There are labs where new technologies are tested, and entire levels dedicated to the well-being of the mind and body. It's not a place you rush through. Most visitors spend at least 2 to 3 hours here, wandering between the floors, losing themselves in the possibility of what could come next. Tickets should be booked online in advance. The museum is popular and it sells out quickly. The best time to visit is in the morning, when it's quieter, and you'll have space to take in the details without the crowds. Drive through Dubai and there's one shape you simply can't ignore, a massive golden rectangle rising above the skyline. This is the Dubai Frame, part monument, part observation deck, and part time machine. The concept is simple but brilliant. Look out from one side and you'll see modern Dubai in all its glory. The Burj Khalifa, endless towers of glass and steel, and the highways that cut through the desert. Turn around, and the view transforms completely. Low-rise souks, old wind towers, and the minarets of historic Deira. In a single glance, you see the city's past and its future perfectly framed. An elevator carries you to the top in under a minute, where a glass walkway stretches between the two towers. Step onto it, and suddenly you're walking 150 meters above the ground, with the city unfolding beneath your feet. It's thrilling, a little dizzying, and yes, very Instagram-worthy. The best time to visit? Late afternoon. Arrive while the sun is still up. Watch daylight fade into neon, and you'll get 2 completely different Dubais in one visit. Tickets are best booked online to avoid queues, and an hour is plenty to explore the galleries below and enjoy the sweeping views above. We've seen the landmarks that define Dubai. Now it's time to feel the rush. From the desert sands to water parks and even the skies above, let's jump into Dubai's world of adventure. It all begins at your hotel door. A white Land Cruiser pulls up. The driver leans out with a grin, and just like that, your guide for the afternoon becomes your pilot into another world. The city glitters for a few minutes longer as you leave downtown behind, but within 45 minutes, the towers are gone and the road stretches into nothing but dunes. That's the magic of Dubai. In less than an hour, you swap skyscrapers for silence. And then the fun begins. Tires are deflated for better grip, and before you know it, the Land Cruiser is climbing, sliding, and plunging down the dunes like a roller coaster made of sand. Laughter, a few nervous screams, and sand flying past the windows. Dune bashing is the kind of chaos you secretly signed up for. For some extra adrenaline, quad bikes are waiting, engines growling at the edge of the camp. Or you can slow it down with the original desert transport, the camel. Nicknamed the ships of the desert, camels were the lifeline of Bedouins for centuries, carrying people and goods across thousands of kilometers of sand, surviving on little more than dates and desert shrubs. They provided milk, meat, and even wool for tents and clothing. Today, a short ride on their swaying backs isn't just a tourist activity. It's a glimpse into the animal that made life in the desert possible long before cars and highways. Then there's sandboarding. Strap your feet onto a board, aim down the slope, and pray you don't faceplant halfway. It's messy, hilarious, and the perfect way to discover that sand somehow sneaks into every pocket you own. As the adrenaline fades, the desert shows its softer side. A Bedouin-style camp lights up with lanterns and carpets. The smell of grilled kebabs fills the air, and dinner is served under the open sky. While you eat, dancers spin in colorful skirts, fire shows heat the night, and a silence you'll never hear in the city settles in between the music. Above it all, a dome of stars stretches across the desert, so bright you almost forget Dubai's neon glow isn't far away. Leave the skyscrapers of downtown behind, and within 25-30 minutes by car, you'll be driving out onto Palm Jumeirah. Dubai's man-made island, shaped like a giant palm tree. At the very crown of this engineering marvel rises Atlantis, the palm. With its golden towers and mythical design, it feels more like a palace than a hotel. And inside its grounds sits Aquaventure, one of the largest water parks on Earth, a place built to prove that even fun can be engineered on a monumental scale. The rides here are outrageous. The leap of faith drops you 9 stories in seconds, shooting straight through a glass tunnel surrounded by sharks and rays. Poseidon's revenge takes it further. You step into a capsule, the floor disappears beneath you, and suddenly you're plunging at 60 kilometers per hour. And then there's Aquaconda, the world's largest water slide, whipping groups through giant spirals like a waterborne roller coaster. But Aquaventure isn't only about adrenaline. One of its best features is the network of rivers that weave through the park. Grab a tube and drift through calm stretches, wave machines, swirling rapids, and sudden drops that keep you laughing the whole way. It's nearly a mile of water channels, the longest in the Middle East, and it's the kind of lazy river where families can spend hours without ever climbing a staircase. For kids, there's splashers, lagoon, and cove, mini water parks within the park, packed with water cannons, climbing nets, and dozens of slides built to their scale. And when the chaos gets too much, Aquaventure reveals its secret, a private beach stretching almost a kilometer. White sand, calm turquoise water, and views back toward Dubai's skyline. Here, you can swim, paddleboard, or just let the sea breeze cool you down, a luxury almost no other water park in the world offers. Here's the deal with tickets. A standard day pass starts around 320 dirhams, that's about $87 for adults, and 260 dirhams, or around $71 for kids. Prices rise during the peak season, so booking online in advance saves both money and time at the gates. Staying at Atlantis, then entry is completely free for guests, which, considering the cost of a ticket, almost feels like you're getting the park included with your room. And here's a little insider secret. When you first walk in, grab the free water shoes they hand out. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Without them, the pavement gets so hot, you'll end up sprinting between rides like it's part of the attraction. Some adventures you'll never forget, and seeing Dubai from a helicopter is one of them. The moment the rotors roar to life and you lift off the ground, the city that felt so massive suddenly becomes a miniature world beneath you. The Burj Khalifa looks less like a skyscraper and more like a needle. The highways curl like ribbons, and the desert stretches endlessly into the horizon. Most flights take off from Atlantis, the Palm, meaning you can literally combine it with a day at Aquaventure. The routes vary. Shorter flights of 12–15 minutes usually circle Palm Jumeirah, giving you that perfect bird's eye view of its palm shape, something you just can't fully grasp from the ground. Longer flights of 20–25 minutes stretch further, sweeping past the Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab, and the winding canals of Dubai Marina. And if you splurge for the 45-minute route, you'll even glide out toward the desert, watching the city fade into sand. Ticket prices start around 700 dirhams, that's about $190 for the short flights, while the longer routes climb toward 1,200 to 1,500 dirhams, or roughly $330 to $410. It's not cheap, but you're buying a memory that no observation deck can compete with. After conquering the desert dunes and splashing through the wild rides of Atlantis, it's time to catch your breath and discover another side of Dubai, the one filled with culture, color, and imagination. From peaceful mosques to glowing gardens and global festivals, this is where the city truly shows its soul. The Jumeirah Mosque feels like a different kind of landmark, one that invites you to slow down and connect with the culture at its heart. Built in the late 1970s in traditional Fatimid style, its cream-colored stone, elegant dome, and twin minarets look timeless, almost as if they've always been here. But what makes it truly special isn't just the architecture, it's the access. This is one of the very few mosques in Dubai open to non-Muslims. Every morning, except Fridays, you can join the program called Open Doors, Open Minds, where local hosts welcome visitors with Arabic coffee and sweet dates, symbols of Emirati hospitality. They explain the meaning of the call to prayer you hear echo across the city 5 times a day, show how Muslims prepare for prayer, and invite questions about faith and daily life that you might never otherwise get the chance to ask. For many, it's the most eye-opening experience in Dubai, not because it's flashy, but because it's human. You learn that a mosque is not just a place of worship, but also a space for community, reflection, and connection. Inside, the details are calming and intricate. Patterned carpets, Arabic calligraphy, and delicate chandeliers. The hall can hold up to 1,200 worshippers, and when filled, the rhythm of prayer creates a sense of unity that's hard to describe in words. Unlike many religious spaces, photography is encouraged, as part of the effort to demystify rather than exclude. Tours usually begin at 10 a.m. and last a little over an hour. Modest clothing is required, but don't worry. If you arrive unprepared, the mosque provides traditional attire for visitors. It's part of the idea that everyone should feel welcome. Forget the small, cramped city zoos you might know. The Dubai Safari Park was designed as a new generation of wildlife park. 119 hectares of wide, themed landscapes where more than 2,500 animals roam in environments that feel closer to their natural homes. The park is divided into different villages. In the African village, you'll meet elephants, lions, and giraffes. The Asian village brings tigers and moon bears. There's even an Arabian Desert safari that showcases gazelles and oryx, animals that once roamed the United Arab Emirates in the wild and are part of the region's heritage. It feels less like cages and more like a patchwork of ecosystems stitched together in one sprawling space. What makes it stand out is the approach. The park was built with a focus on sustainability, powered in part by solar energy and using advanced cooling systems to keep animals comfortable in the desert heat. It's as much about education and conservation as it is about entertainment. For visitors, the safari journey is the highlight. A guided bus ride that takes you through open habitats, where lions bask in the sun and giraffes walk right past your window. It's the closest thing to a mini Serengeti you'll find, without leaving Dubai. Timing is important here. The best time to visit is morning, when the air is cooler and the animals are most active. By midday, they retreat into the shade, a smart move considering the Dubai sun. Entry costs around 50 dirhams, that's about $14 for adults and about half that for children, making it one of the more affordable big experiences in the city. You step into the Dubai Miracle Garden, and suddenly you're standing in a wonderland of flowers. More than 150 million blossoms arranged into shapes and sculptures so large and detailed, it feels more like stepping into a fantasy movie set than a garden in the middle of the desert. Opened in 2013, the Miracle Garden holds the title of the largest natural flower garden in the world. That natural part makes it even more incredible. In a place where summer heat can reach 50 degrees Celsius, they've engineered a system that recycles wastewater and uses drip irrigation to keep the blooms alive. Walking here isn't just beautiful. It's a reminder of how far Dubai will go to turn the impossible into reality. The creations change every season, but some have become icons. A life-sized Emirate airplane covered entirely in flowers, a towering Mickey Mouse figure made of 100,000 blooms, and archways of roses that seem built for fairy tales. Every turn of the path feels designed for gasps. And of course, for photos. Timing here is important too. The garden is only open from November to April, when the weather is cool enough for the flowers to thrive. Visiting in the afternoon gives you the best light for photos, though mornings are quieter if you'd rather wander in peace. Tickets are around 75 dirhams, about $20 for adults, and 60 dirhams for kids. A tip: don't rush through. There are plenty of benches, cafes, and shaded corners where you can sit with a drink and just take it all in. If there's one place in Dubai where the whole planet seems to have packed up and moved in for the night, it's Global Village. Imagine strolling past the pyramids of Egypt, crossing into India with its spices and colorful saris, then turning a corner and suddenly finding yourself in Italy, surrounded by pizza ovens and gelato stands. That's Global Village. More than 90 pavilions, each recreating a slice of culture, food, and tradition. The scale is mind-blowing. In the India Pavilion, you'll find rows of stalls selling everything from silk scarves to henna art, with Bollywood dance shows filling the stage. The Egypt Pavilion bursts with papyrus paintings, handmade jewelry, and street food that smells like cumin and roasted meat. Turkey lures you in with glowing lamps, sizzling kebabs, and endless trays of baklava. The Japan and Korea zones have anime merchandise, street snacks like takoyaki and bubble tea, and even K-pop dance shows. And if you're missing Europe, head to Italy or France, where you'll find Nutella crepes, pasta, and fresh gelato served under Venetian-style arches. Every evening, more than 40,000 shows take place across the season, from acrobatic stunt teams to international concerts and folkloric dances. One night you might catch a circus-style fire show, the next a traditional Emirati drumming performance. On Thursday and Friday nights, fireworks explode above the grounds, painting the desert sky. And then there are the little surprises: wandering musicians, carnival rides, or even a floating Abra boat ride across the man-mad lake, where you can see the whole village lit up in neon colors. For families, there's a fun fair, with roller coasters and games, while shopaholics can spend hours discovering handmade crafts, jewelry, and spices from every corner of the globe. Global Village runs only during the cooler months from October to April, with gates opening around 4 p.m. and the party lasting until midnight or 1 a.m. on weekends. Tickets are a bargain, 20 dirhams, about $5 for entry. But what you'll probably spend most on is food. And that's part of the fun, going stall to stall, tasting the world one bite at a time. It's loud, it's colorful, and it's impossible to see it all in one visit. But that's exactly the point. In Global Village, Dubai gives you the world in a single night. Suspended 210 meters above the ground on the 50th floor of the Palm Tower, it's officially the highest 360-degree infinity pool in the world. From up here, the entire city unfolds like a living map. The curve of Palm Jumeirah below you, the sail-shaped Burj Al Arab in the distance, the endless desert stretching inland, and the Arabian Gulf shimmering on the horizon. Imagine floating at the edge of the pool, with nothing but glass between you and the skyline, while soft lounge music plays and waiters bring cocktails or fresh fruit platters to your cabana. The design is sleek and minimal, letting the view do all the talking. The experience is divided into sessions: mornings, afternoons, and sunset. Each feels different. In the morning, it's quiet, with the pool almost to yourself and the city still waking up. Afternoons bring a more lively social vibe. But sunset is the showstopper. As the sky turns orange and pink, the city lights begin to glow, and you suddenly understand why this is one of the most in-demand reservations in town. The key tip? Book weeks in advance. Sunset sessions sell out quickly, and walk-ins are almost never possible. And don't forget to bring a camera, though honestly, half the time you'll be too busy just staring at the horizon to bother with photos. Dubai really is a place of contrasts, where futuristic skylines meet ancient souks, where desert dunes crash into turquoise beaches, and where adventure, culture, and luxury live side by side. But now we want to hear from you. Where would you head first? The Burj Khalifa's dizzying heights? A desert safari under the stars? Or maybe drifting through Global Village? And if you've already been to Dubai, what was your favorite experience? Or maybe you learned something new today? Drop it all in the comments. We love reading your stories. If you enjoyed traveling with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next journey. Safe travels, and remember, the world is waiting for you, one unforgettable destination at a time.